I don't think we're in a bubble, which is what I think many bears think we are.
Woo, baby, welcome back. My passive income investors, like to another day. All-time high portfolio here, sitting at about 27,000 odd dollars here. My portfolio has been up fantastically this week, primarily because I've avoided most of those YouTube stocks. There's been a lot of time consolidating, but what you saw in the beginning there, guys, before we dive down into the portfolios, Cathie Wood has been doing a really fun run on CNBC, kind of documenting what she thinks about the markets and why people like Michael Burry are completely wrong. So for you that are worried that we are floating around in a bubble, take a quick listen.
In a bubble, and I remember the late 90s, our strategy would have been cheered on, rah, 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 go get them, right? And you remember the leapfrogging of analysts making estimates, one higher than the other, price targets one higher than the other. We have nothing like that right now. In fact, you see a lot of IPOs or SPACs coming out and falling to earth. We couldn't be further away from a bubble. And the reason for that is the innovation around which we have centered our research. These 5 platforms, DNA sequencing, robotics, energy storage, artificial intelligence, and blockchain technology, are barely off the ground. The seeds for all of these platforms were planted in the 20 years that ended in the tech and telecom bust. And ended in tears. And there's a lot of muscle memory around that. But that's not what's going on right now. The seeds planted back then are beginning to flourish now.
I agree with Cathie Wood here, and I constantly claim the rate of innovation is finally compounding at a rate that is driving up these higher valuations in the broader market. And yeah, if you went back a few months ago, I would have agreed that I thought things were getting overvalued, but these numbers and these earnings are proving to justify the market's value. The broader S&P PE is pulled back. So on that note, let me show you how I've been structuring my portfolio, the new buys, the new sells I've been taking on, and zooming out, let's kick it off by, first of all, as always, talking about the tax-free savings account, which, yes, is pushing back to all-time highs. You'll notice I have some cash here because this week I mentioned I am kind of just getting rid of my sin stocks. This wasn't something I did lightly. Obviously, I said I might wait, I might not wait. I just said, forget it. I'm just going to get rid of these and I'm going to start mixing them around. So let me show you what I did here. I started shuffling around a few things. I actually got rid of Hydro One, bought Algonquin Power instead. I ended up selling MO and BTI. I transitioned that actually into the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, which ironically, I know some of you that are OG here, Jason, I'm talking to you, you know who I'm talking to, doesn't think that I'm going to hold on to these index funds very long because I'm primarily not an index fund investor. But because I'm looking at this TFSA as a tax-free savings account that I can tap into for tax-free income and perpetuity for the rest of my life, I want market performance here. So I figure if I heavily weighted in the S&P along with Apple and Microsoft, those should continue driving fantastic returns while collecting dividends on the other half of this portfolio from robust, sustainably long-term companies that I don't have to worry about if I were to go in a cryogenic freeze for the next, 50 years of my life.
The Iceman cometh.
Come back and the grandkids would probably be pretty happy with this portfolio, right? So that's where the TFSA currently sits. Diving down into my actual managed account, I haven't done anything here. I just keep pulling the dividends out and actually utilizing them. It's the first time in my life I've ever used my dividends, but why not? It's an easy, accessible cash account, right? Taking a look at my RRSP, Clorox coming back a little bit this week. Not enough to make me happy, but it's Clorox. This is another account I don't really care as much about. So I just kind of buy these lower end dividend stocks that will likely give me better compounded rates of return and dividend growth. We'll see how that goes. I don't know how Clorox could be doing this bad with the Delta and all this other stuff going on, but sure, whatever. Let's talk about some new buys that many of you are aware of. Talked about this yesterday. In my corporate account, I purchased some more Tesla stock. Well, not that much more, like 1 share. After that AI event, guys, whoo, baby, we are moving into a direction that can only be compared to Skynet, Terminator, God knows what else here, right? But heck, I had to pick up one more. I can't get too crazy here. I'd love to load up. Again, Tesla's overvalued. I get it. Slow down. I get it, guys. However, if it dropped in half, so be it. But when you know what the future is looking like and you kind of just, it's Tesla's like everything company, right? Like it's like the Amazon ecosystem from, 5 or 10 years ago when they were trading in the 400 PEs and people didn't understand e-commerce. That vibe is what's going on with Tesla here, and I want to own Skynet. So I definitely picked up one more share within reason to the overall portfolio. Now, you may have noticed I'm not really showing you guys a portfolio overview sheet with the dividend income updated. I'm going to be doing that later next week until I kind of round things off and finalize my purchases. But to help you guys out a little bit more, if you would like, I just dropped the course for new Canadians on Teachable. I'm going to leave the link in the description below. You get my personal WhatsApp number, 24/7 Q&A, and I'm kind of breaking down from a Canadian standpoint how I've opened these accounts, how to go about investing as a beginner, and the path of least resistance to building wealth. And on top of that, one thing I didn't mention, but I also broke down a crypto course in there. We're seeing Bitcoin hit all-time highs here, guys. I'm not buying more Bitcoin at these levels, but it's nice seeing it rise back up. And in that course, I show you guys how to get free Bitcoin, how to leverage Bitcoin, just everything about Canadian versions of buying Bitcoin. And trust me, it gets pretty in depth. We talk about the taxes and stuff as well. But again, you don't have to do that. You can always come back here every week for free and just kind of get these updates, guys. Now, I know this was just a brief overview, and with my cash position and everything going on in here, yes, I'm proud to say all-time highs here, folks. So I look forward to catching you next week. As always, let me know what you think in that comment section below. Stay cool, stay awesome, and I'll catch you tomorrow.